It is December 2022, and a high school biology teacher, Daniel Forrester, arrives home with a bag of groceries. He is on the phone with a recruiter from the Army Research Laboratory. He puts the call on hold and goes inside, where his family and friends have gathered to watch the World Cup. His daughter, Muri, helps him with the groceries, and then he happily tells his wife, Emmy, about the job opportunity he is pursuing. He went back outside to resume the call, but unfortunately his application was denied. He slowly takes in the news and even hits the trash can in frustration. He goes inside to join the others. He tells Emma the sad news, and Muri sits beside them and manages to cheer him up. As he turns his attention to the game, the TV glitches briefly, caused by some future soldiers who just landed on the pitch. A female soldier, Lieutenant Hart, explains that they are soldiers from 2051 who are fighting a battle against the white spikes, a powerful threat to the human race. As such, she appeals to more soldiers from this timeline to join their cause. It is now a year after the arrival of Hart, and the war is still ongoing. Soldiers have been and are still being deployed to fight in the future using the jump link. Only a handful of the soldiers barely survived and returned. Now, civilians are being forcefully drafted. This sparks an anti-war movement, as many disagree that people should be forced to risk their lives for a war that hasn't happened yet. Daniel is feeling the effects around him. Muri keeps having nightmares. And even when he goes to class, he finds that his students are disinterested in learning, as they know the world will end anyway. Later, Daniel is asked to check his draft status. At the military office, he finds out about the requirement that deploys only people that will die before 2051. Since he dies in 2030, he is eligible and has to participate in the war. A jump band is attached to his arm, enabling him to time travel and prevent him from escaping the government. He is told to settle all personal affairs and return in 24 hours for training and deployment. Emmy, a therapist who has seen the war survivors' trauma, is terrified and wants them to run away. Daniel goes to his estranged father, a mechanical engineer, to help him get rid of the jump band. However, they argue about unresolved family problems, and Daniel angrily leaves. He tells Emmy that he will join the war, and as it is just a 7-day tour, he promises to survive and make it back home. Muri fights her tears and bravely says goodbye to her father. Now at the training facility, the Minister of Defense welcomes Daniel and the others and refers to them as heroes of humanity. Hart and her team are responsible for training the civilians. They teach them to only aim for the white spikes' throats and abdomens, and some basic first aid skills. During training, Daniel meets some of his fellow draftees. Charlie, a PhD holder in Earth and atmospheric sciences, and Dorian, who is slowly dying of cancer and is willingly going on his 3rd tour. He connects more with Charlie as they stimulate each other with their scientific theories. They agree that the most likely reason why only people who are dead before 2051 are sent to war is that there mustn't be an interaction between a past and future self. Later that day, Daniel and the others are deployed earlier because of a surprise attack on the last research center in 2051. The civilians are sucked in by the jump link. They were to be dropped on the Miami beach. However, a malfunction dropped them hundreds of feet in the air into a burning city. Daniel and a few others were lucky to land in the pool of a rooftop building. A colonel from the control center informs them to immediately get to safety as bombs are about to be launched. They were instructed to retrieve a stranded research team while avoiding the red smoke areas in the city, which are the bomb spots. Dan leads the small group of civilians, but when they get to the laboratory, they find that the entire research team has been killed. As instructed, they retrieved some vital hard drives and other research materials and began to exit the facility. They encounter some white spikes which prevent them from using the main exit of the building. They walk quietly to access another exit, but are still found by white spikes who attack and kill some of the civilian group. A white spike nearly kills Daniel, but he is saved by Dorian. They exit the building and find the extraction team, but a group of white spikes attack the extraction vehicles and kill all soldiers inside. The civilian soldiers then run away from the scene to a safe spot as the bombs begin to go off. Later, Daniel wakes up and is now in a medical tent. Charlie and Dorian are being redeployed while Daniel is asked to go and see the colonel. The colonel thanked him for his service and successfully retrieving the classified items. When a soldier walks up and refers to the colonel as Forrester, Daniel instantly recognizes that she is his future daughter. Daniel is emotional, but Muri keeps her distance. She takes him to the control room and shows him the research and how close they are to developing a substance that can kill the white spikes. They only need a sample from a female spike, which is not just stronger but harder to find. They board a helicopter to search for a female spike, and when they encounter one, they manage to sedate and trap it. The helicopter takes off with the white spike while Daniel and Muri ride an armored truck to escape the males. They drive to the beach side, waiting for the helicopter to pick them up. Daniel asks Muri why she seems to dislike him, and she finally explains how he abandons his family and eventually dies in a car accident after the divorce. Daniel insists that he would never do something like that, but Muri walks away in the direction of the approaching helicopter. The helicopter heads to a secure base in the middle of the ocean with jump-link equipment. The researchers begin to study the genetic composition of the white spike, and Muri works overnight to develop a toxin that will kill the white spikes. In the morning, Muri instructs Daniel to take the toxin back to the past so that it can be produced in mass and used to kill the white spikes before the war can even begin. The white female spike wakes up and breaks through the chains. To worsen things, a large number of male spikes also make it to the research base and breach the perimeter. Muri and Daniel head towards the helicopters, but the female spike finds them and attacks Muri. As she is injured, she tells Daniel to leave her, but he refuses. The father and daughter reconcile, but the spike comes back to finish them off. Muri slips and falls off the railing. Daniel rushes to grab her, but the jump link activates and takes him back to his time. Determined to change this future, he instructs Hart to mass-produce the toxin. In the meantime, he returns home and reunites with his family. He is still traumatized by the experience of watching young Muri while she sleeps at night. Emmy finds him, and he narrates how Muri dies in the future. The next day, they meet up with Charlie and Dorian and begin to research how the alien species could have made it to Earth. They discover that a ship had landed in Russia for a while, and that could be the nesting place of the white spikes. Due to global warming, the snow around the ship would melt in a few years and release them into the world. Unfortunately, they had insufficient evidence, so the defense minister did not take them seriously. Daniel enlists help from Hart and his father, and they all head to Russia with the toxins on his father's plane. They reach the glaciers and find the location of the ship. They bomb the area, and the ship is revealed. They go inside and discover the first batch of white spikes lying and waiting to be released. They inject them with toxins that kill them. However, a few manage to escape, including a pregnant female. Hart and Dorian stay back and eventually have to bomb the ship with themselves inside to prevent more from escaping. On the other hand, Daniel, Charles, and his father run after the white spikes and manage to kill them all. The world is saved, and they all return home. Daniel and his father reconcile, and he even introduces them to Emmy and Muri. Thank you for watching. Do like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel as well and hit the notification bell so you do not miss any upcoming videos like this.